Hello everyone, welcome back to What If Izuku Midoriya had a hacking quirk. Let's just dive on in, shall we? Izuku, one moment. Izuku, after doing what he wanted, figuring out where specific people were, his first big obstacle, actually fucking getting there. Smart cars are a thing, but they aren't in abundance. Unless you go to the rich neighborhoods. And as we said prior, he's kind of near the outskirts of Musudafu. So, he's kind of in the boonies. Meanwhile, all it would really take is for him to wait a couple of days. Because there is a couple of jobs that he did just to give people info. Nothing big, but it's enough to get him pocket money. Well, what Izuku sees as pocket money. And have him discreetly buy a vehicle from Jiren. This vehicle is technically an armored car. Let me double check something. I want to make sure I actually got the model right. As Izuku would get to the drop-off location of the vehicle, he would see this. The Knight NX Luxury Model. An armored van. And this shit, with the way that it's souped up, could go through the walls pretty fucking easy. Could go through heavy-handed steel beams. You named it. It could run through it. Thanks to a person that could create objects that are non-organic, thanks to the Yaoyorozu company. New metals to reinforce machinery, etc. Granted, according to everyone else, this type of car was already a commodity after all. It was only supposed to be a temporary thing. But regardless, Izuku drives home with it. Makes sure everything's ready. And then realizes it's showtime. He would put his mask on, walk to the location. His face and voice scrambled. Essentially scrubbed of any cameras that he would walk past. A ghost in the net, if you will. When Izuku enters what would be known as a recent rave spot by partiers, hoodlums, and back alley dealers, would only be known as one place: the Chateau. Izuku, as he would enter, music loud and thumping. everyone that is there to Izuku's connections with everyone, about 90% of them are proper. The people that should be. As well as other people inside of his net that are watching. As Izuku is essentially mingling with the crowd, some people's phones get pings, and they sadly have to leave due to emergencies, at least according to family, or what is perceived as family. When 100% of the club is empty of those that shouldn't be there, the speakers would be killed, the lights all would turn on, and a face would appear on the main screen behind the DJ. Ladies and gentlemen, I would first like to welcome you to all who did show yourselves to me to this meeting. I am 6, and I wish to extend an olive branch to all of you. Consider this mass recruitment. It is safe to say that most, if not all of us have been screwed over in one way or another. I give you a chance. A interesting yet rhythmic lullaby. A chance for you to sink into the deep waters. Get fucking hands dirty. And get paid damn good money to do so. Are there any questions, ladies, gentlemen? No? Ah. Hands would clap. Wonderful. At least the audio of hands clapping would play over the microphone. Well, not the microphone, the speakers. Izuku wouldn't be doing a goddamn thing. So, everyone here will have a job. Through the people that have shown up here for their engineering prowess in support, gear, and standard electronics and mechanics. Move to the back left corner of the room. There you will find a crate with a key underneath the left corner. Your separate assignments are there. For those of hacking expertise, get into the phone of the DJ. There will be your personal instructions. After all, they are all coded by what you call yourselves. Good luck, sinners. And if you do complete these tasks, welcome to DEADSEC. Yes, I know I took the name from a fucking video game, deal with it. It's a good name. And I'm not gonna let that shit go. But yeah. Let's see if you have anything, to prove to me what it takes. As the feed would cut, some people would pull out laptops, others phones. Some people would just be moving their hands through the air using a virtual HUD. At this moment, people are gathering what they wish. But a pink-haired girl watches Izuku leave through the door almost immediately. She was the first to the chest. Mei Hatsume, when she got this invitation to the Chateau, she's heard of it. But this is an interesting offer that was given. Mei would, after getting a file designated with her, well, what was her username? She would follow this man. And after the first block, Izuku noticed, oh, people did notice. Ah, wonderful. As a armored car would roll up next to him, the door would automatically open. He would enter, look directly at Mei, and wave a hand to enter. Mei, surprised that she was spotted. After all, she hasn't been using direct sightlines. If this is the 6 that has been rumored and whispered in conspiracy chats on Reddit and other things, it's an interesting show. But Mei essentially watches as he waves. Mei notices that she was spotted, says, you know what, fuck it. Just goes. Because if this is 6, this is the person that's going to be the employer. And since 6 promised her and her babies some much needed money, it would be mostly good. Mei would enter the inside of this vehicle. Entering into this vehicle, Mei would notice the best way that she would put it, the amount of money that this person has had to put into this vehicle. And the blatant fact that, oh, everything is bulletproofed. She also noticed that there's no driver, which immediately intrigued Mei. Granted, self-driving cars are a thing. It's just, they're heavily regulated. But as she would sit, the door would close and Izuku would say, the one that I was hoping to follow me. Mei Hatsume, what a pleasure. Mei's eyes would, they wouldn't go wide, because she knew that since they had address, they knew name. The best thing that I can say Mei would feel is, okay, he knows, it was confirmed, gotcha. He knows my shit. But Izuku would seemingly just tap the screen on the car, or about right there, and the car would begin to move. Mei Hatsume, if I could give you a place to work, an income flow, if you will, and data that would make simulating failure simple to make it nigh impossible, would you take it? She would look at him and say, what's the catch? Oh, well, I technically need you to make some RC equipment. You know, simple stuff. Like a remote controlled, I don't know, this remote controlled spider drone. Possibly a flying one as well. You seem to understand the gist of what I asked for. Nothing insane and nothing illegal. She would look at you and say, it feels like you're buttering me up for something. Well, and here said, your profile said that you didn't know how to pick up on social cues. CTOS is very outdated. Wouldn't you agree? As Izuku would pull out a file and give it to Mei. Her face would scrunch up as she would open it. And it would be showing hobbies, habits, where they live, how they live, etc. Just, I want you to imagine the rapid fire of just constant, near ongoing information about what you do in your personal time. Because that's what they know. And that's what's on that sheet. Mei would close it and say, did you get this information? No. Well, no. I got it from a server a while ago that I put a backdoor in. It's been constantly gathering data on citizens, civilians, etc. You know what's interesting? Hatsume. Everything that I have at this moment in time is of 2 weeks ago and is updated on that 2 week notice. It is reviewed, it is processed, and what is needed is updated, and what isn't needed to be updated, it stays the same. For instance, if someone is deceased or alive, keeping records, that kind of thing, a very bothersome notion, but you should know how it is. People like us, I believe it would be good for privacy, after all. If you look a bit deeper into that, he would open it, go to the third page, and point at something that was overlooked. One sentence that says, schematics are fascinating. We'll see if can incorporate. Mei looks pissed once that is pointed out. And Izuku says, getting more comfortable in his seat, Mei Hatsume, I extend an olive branch that'll reach much farther than you think it will. I promise you privacy beyond privacy. This'll technically be your first well-paying job. Are you ready to work with me? Like I said, you will be paid, but only if you want to get all of information scrubbed. That's just not going to happen unless we get into their main server, which is sadly out of my reach. Or else a lot more interesting things would happen. Let me tell you my dream, and let me see if you could dig it. My dream, my philosophy is power to the people. Now, laws are needed. That is a constant. But what do you think those people in power do? They bend and twist their laws. So guess what'll happen to those people who twist and bend laws? They get off scot-free because they're running the show. May I give you an opportunity to help me bring justice to those who have wronged others. And since this will be once the recruitment drive is done, our, best in charge will have to say a couple of things. But this job that I offer you will not only show the world that, show our great country, that the smallest individual can make leaps and bounds So what do you say? Will you stand with me? With this? Right now? After all, it's your privacy. He would extend his hand outwards, almost lazily, oozing a confidence that Izuku has no right to have. But Izuku practiced and practiced on those around him to exude fake confidence, unimpenetrable fake confidence. So that's what he does. And once the hand is out, there's a slight pause. But Mei would reply, I would be getting funding and you would be protecting my privacy. That is correct, ma'am. I'm in. Tell me what I need to do. As she would shake Izuku's hand. The first of many comrades to come. Izuku would get to his compound, the door automatically opening for the night XV. And the door would open. And he would say, please, you first. Izuku would exit. And Mei would see the garage that is filled with tools. Some old, some new, some top line, some older in model. It's a mech head's wet dream. The only thing that they would need is an industrial forge in there. But Izuku would then say, don't worry, it's in the sub-basement. It could only be ran at night, however. Mei would be given an extra set of keys. Well, not a set of keys, my apologies. Izuku's more civilized. Izuku would just hand Mei an earpiece. Put this around your ear, it will look exactly like a piercing, don't worry. It's either that or you could put it in your dreads. I don't really care where you put it. It just has to be on your person. Mei would nod and say, what is the first project? The spider bot. The spider bot would be nice. If possible, I would like for you to make to go up vertical surfaces. Possibly even cut through ventilation shaft openings, etc. Also possibly to wirely connect itself to any hardline server. Or other external electronic devices that it would make contact with. She would think, nod, and say, can you do the programming? I already have the script. Well then, I'll get working on this tomorrow. Take the car. Or, it will take you home. Good night, Miss Hatsume. As Izuku would give Mei a hoodie. And it's a DEADSEC hoodie. It has the Watchdogs insignia on it. And welcome to DEADSEC. As the door would close, and Izuku would go to school. Izuku, during this entire time at UA, he's pretty studious. However, one thing happened that he did not realize. He did not know that Mei, well, he forgot that Mei was going to be in the support course. So once he sees Mei, he would more or less tap Mei on the shoulder and say, Miss Hatsume, was it? Yes? 6 wanted me to give you this. Have a nice day. As he would turn and scamper off. This says to plug it into Power Loader's computer. And for the next couple days, it would be easy to say that everything would go smoothly. However, due to this slight distraction, and Mei putting this USB in their pocket, what she was working on, she would turn back to. Her eyes would go wide, she would jump to the ground as another detonation would go off. As Power Loader sneakily takes a very large swig of whiskey underneath the counter and curls up into a fetal position, cursing the name Hatsume. But, I think that's where I'm going to end it. That's where I'm going to end part 2? 2 or 3, I don't remember. Anyway, yeah, see ya.